achieve that position. But of course, we all fall into second or the third category. And what Vimlaji shared here is it's kind of looks like a very beautiful desire. She wants to travel to different countries, uh, stay healthy as possible as she's getting older. So Vimlaji, if I can ask, like, are you working upon fulfilling those desires, or because suppressing the desire is not the solution for moving forward from uh, having that stage where no desires trouble us. So one must try to fulfill those positive desires which we have. So Vimlaji, are you working on that part? Are you traveling?
I am I used to love traveling, but I haven't traveled for a long time because of some other problems going on. And also recently, the health has been suffering for a couple of years. So I haven't been able to travel much, but I do like to travel to different countries and, see, go into the areas and see how the indigenous people are living and find out about them. That sort of journey I love making it.
Which part of country you are from, Vimlaji? Basically,
I am I was born in Kenya, but I've been in the UK for over 50 years now.
okay, okay. And till date, what countries you have already visited and experienced?
I have visited a lot of places in America, North America. I want to travel to South America. I've been to South Africa, um, Uganda, Tanzania. So, in India, I haven't been to India for a long time now. So, people tell me that if you do go to India, it changed a lot. You will enjoy. But I was supposed to go with my sister in 2019, but because of COVID, then we couldn't go. And then I haven't been able to make that plan.
But that overall looks like a desire which is not going to harm you or trouble you in any way.
No,
So,
but uh, I still feel, yes, I know, I understand what you are saying. Even I was thinking about it when I wrote it. But then again, I have this, I still want to go, even though I'm getting older, I still want to go and visit, some of these places and see how people live. And
so working first on the desire, which is a beautiful desire of being healthy, is the first step to uh, to take in, so that the desire of traveling the world can be fulfilled. But I would first suggest you to focus on on your health. Health come
yes,
first, and
that's why everything has stopped because of health.
yeah.
Because uh, for 3 years of COVID, I was okay. And then in 2023, I went out shopping and I wasn't wearing my mask. And I got COVID. And after that, my health has suffered quite a lot.
Yeah. Yes, health come first, and with age, it requires more attention. So first of all, I mean, yes, I know you are must be very grateful of whatever countries you have already traveled and experienced. Uh, be grateful for whatever you have seen, and if the health is stopping you in some way, uh, don't feel sad or don't be upset. Very sure that if you are religious and taking care of your health, then one day you will again get a chance to see rest of the part of the countries which are left. So we all wish
Yes,
for
yeah, because that
that
was
day
my
to come in your
ambition.
life.
I wanted my granddaughter is,
Right.
was getting older, and I wanted to take her to all these different parts. I used to tell her when she was young that I'll take you for travel quite a lot,
Gee, thank
but
you
I
for putting
haven't
up
been
that.
able to do it.
Yeah, I would like to talk more about travel as we move forward today, and I will
Mhm.
cover also. So first of all, just let me do a very small prayer of Lord Ganesha. So I love him a lot, so I just want to thank him for everything. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurme Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Hari Om Tat Sat. So namaste everyone. We have entered the chapter 9, and it's kind of been like more than a more than 2 months now, uh, interacting with you and sharing my thoughts, also listening your thoughts, and I'm very happy to be part of this community today. I wanted to, I was thinking on this topic about my life. What is my life? And it's not about like my life means I'm talking about my life. All our life, we say that okay, it's our life or my life. What is that? Um, so life is mostly we have read that okay, it's a movie, it's a projection on the screen, which is already set. So in this image, you can see there is a person standing with a projector, and there are some pre-installed reels in that projector, which is throwing a light in front of the screen, which is the inner eye or the inner mind, and then the thoughts generate from from that point onwards. So first, there is a source. A source is in Shastra says that a source is by a yogi. It's a seen as a light. So the origin of everything is a light, uh, and from that source, some projections are coming on the surface of the mind. It's coming from very deep within, then it comes in the surface or starts coming up. So those thoughts are actually linked with whatever is being projected from that source, and working towards those thoughts then finally gives a outer atmosphere or the outer life what we see as. So working on those thoughts, continuously thinking on those thoughts, and then taking a action. As soon as we start taking a action towards those thoughts, we start building the karmas, or you can say we start seeing that thoughts coming into reality in the outer life, the outer environment. So all our life, uh, we we are kind of you know going in a loop in this same manner, and the whole idea of taking birth of human as a human is to find that source of everything. So even the desires are nothing but thoughts. It's like thoughts, and they are also coming from the same source. Even the anger is coming from the same source. Love is coming from the same source. So that source is one. Here in the picture, it is shown as a projector. To just simplify things and to give an example, it is shown as a projector, and that the light which is coming from the projector and the reel which is moving in that projector is the source. But now we can see in the picture that there is a person holding that projector and a person now standing behind that projector. That person in Shastra is told to be the divine light or the divine power or the God. or we have given different names to that, that power. So that power has nothing to do, even nothing to do with the projector also, and the reel moving in that projector. It's just a complete in a observing state. So with whatever practice or sadhana we talk about, or we listen in the podcast, we see people talking about, different practices. The gist of all those practices, or the goal of all those practices, merge into a final aim or a goal. And the goal is to find that source only, the source of thoughts, where those thoughts are coming from. There used to be one yogi, or you can say a sage called, he's been popularized by uh, the founder of Apple, Steve Jobs. His name is Baba Neem Karoli. And Baba Neem Karoli used to always say that whenever people used to come to him and ask him that, give me some sadhana, give me some practice. Okay, how can we achieve a super conscious state? How can we go beyond mind? Uh, how to see the God? Have you seen the God? All these questions people used to put in front of him. And the simple answer for all these questions he used to give was, find the source of your thoughts. Do not fulfill all the desires or the thoughts which is coming. See those desires coming up from that source, floating on the surface of the mind, but do not take immediate action. Let that thought or a desire float on the surface of the mind for some time. Keep observing that. And in during that process, most of them will fade away or vanish. Some will be left, and those left would be the most important ones which you have to work upon. Those are your hard karmas that you have to work upon. You cannot escape from that. Work upon those karmas. Do not build more by fulfilling all the random thoughts that is coming on the surface of the mind. Otherwise, it'll be the endless cycle, because thoughts are endless. It will keep coming. We meet person, and if you start talking to any person in your life, you will see that even after having whatever he or she may, I mean, materialistic, mostly materialistic things, possession they have, even then, the feeling of contentment or the feeling of fulfillment is missing. You look into a life of rich or poor, there is some more or some extra element that, or extra taste that they want to bring into their life. And as soon as it gets fulfilled, some other desires is now ready, okay, on the surface of the mind to grab your attention. So in decoding mind, it's not only about decoding mind, but also observing the mind. And today I would like to talk more about observing most of the thoughts as it is, and not taking immediate actions on those thoughts. Of course, the one which needs your immediate attention, which is like in emergency. If you don't do it, you are actually ruining your karma. We have to give attention to those. I mean, we have to be very intelligent in picking those thoughts. If I am saying that, okay, just keep seeing, it doesn't mean that we are driving and we'll just keep seeing ourselves driving. No, we need our attention when we are driving. We just can't keep seeing ourselves driving and then just crash to the other car and, harm ourselves or others' life. So, observation with knowledge integrated together is the best zone to be in. To know which thoughts we have to observe first and ponder on, not immediately, jumping on, taking the action because it has come. Finding the source, why it has come. What is the reason? I mean, thinking more about why and not blindlessly following all the thoughts is I want to talk more about today. And before we move forward, I would like to talk about the traveling part, which I was, discussing with Vimla ji, right? Vimla ji. So traveling has been one of the key ingredient of sadhanas and practices which was done by our yogis and rishis in India, because once they decided to walk on the path of spirituality or finding who they are, most of them, not all of them, but most of them traveled extensively to see the different culture, to see the world. And during those travels, the main agenda was observing things. It was not that that place is beautiful, that's why I want to visit that place. The more the gist of those travels, or the reason for those travels were, I they were observing the different backgrounds and the mindset and the culture and how people behave, and then how they used to behave in those situations or circumstances during those travels. So first, it used to exhaust their desire of moving or traveling. They were exhausting it because it is, it is kind of 100% or less than a percent, 100 from 100%, kind of 99 or 98%. It's the probability or the possibility that a person who is sitting in a meditation, the mind will put up a thought after hour or 2 hour, or if you can sustain for days or months, but the thought will come. Now let's move from here. I have seen it all. This place and now, I have explored. Let's do meditation in now another place. That is the first hurdle when you want to still your mind. That the mind want to now change the state or the position, or the mind wants movement because the thought is ever moving. So if the nature of thought is ever moving, it will make your body also move. So they used to see or travel so much or extensively before sitting up or taking up a sadhana, that now they could say their mind that I have seen it all places, everything, it's kind of a same. There is a difference of, 19 or 20, 19 या 20 हम हिंदी में कहते हैं. But I have seen it all. So calm down and just be here or wherever you are, because you're not gonna experience anything extra now because you have seen it all. So those were the idea or the aim behind traveling extensively. Second desire was getting fulfilled while traveling, was visiting the religious places or exploring the different cultures. So in most of the culture, we find that going to some religious place, doing some activities in those religious place, your sins will get washed, or your soul will get purified. I agree to some extent that yes, one gets a feeling of calmness or some kind of extra connectivity with the universe when they are in a particular place, or when they travel to particular destination, they feel that extra love within. Uh, but you cannot sustain that, or you cannot be in that zone for lifelong, because the body will follow its own nature. One day the body will tell that, okay, now I cannot carry you like how I used to carry your body when you were 16, 17, 20, 30, 40. So the body is following its own nature. So ultimately, towards the final, you know, zone of life, if this is the idea of how body will behave, we have to find a solution where even without traveling, how can I be happy? Or even without not fulfilling those desires of traveling, how can I find that happiness here? Uh, so one has to keep working upon those areas or those aspects of life. As long as the body is supporting, do travel, enjoy, do whatever you can. At least you are exhausting that karma, or you are fulfilling those karma so that it doesn't, hit you hard. If you have not given or taken any action in, in those desires of fulfilling those desires of traveling and all, or others, let's say not only traveling but others, include whatever desire you can imagine now, then the mind will hit more harder. But if you have given enough time in fulfilling those desires, at least you have some base to tell the mind that, see, I have given it when you needed it, but at this stage it's not possible. So you know let's not crib about it, let's not be sad about it, let's just accept it first. So that is the whole reason of uh, fulfilling those desires, because now you have a base, you can tell the mind, you can reply the mind. So even the desire of traveling to religious places and seeing the different cultures should be fulfilled. And once you have seen it all, now you have to integrate everything in a one basket and think that whatever experience I have gained till date, what can I do with this experience? First, let's start doing of whatever experience I have accumulated till date. And also write down what extra you may gain when you will travel to the next destination. What is missing? So note that part, and keep the desires in a basket of which needs an immediate action, and also which can be ignored, or which can be just observed. Ignorance in a mode of observation. And Baba Neem Karoli used to say that if you keep observing the desires, it will fade away. And he used to give a very simple example of craving. Suppose a craving is coming to have a tea, and the tea is not available in that area or in that place wherever you are. So most of the people I have heard in India, especially, they love tea. And if they don't get tea, then they just have a headache or they have a bad mood. Their whole mood changes. And some also say that their body ache starts happening. So it is so much of dependency on the outer object. So he used to say, by giving an example, that if that situation is coming, also see yourself panicking, which is very hard. I can understand, which is very hard. But if you can sustain that whole uh, period of time, which gives you uh, instability, or which takes you away from your comfort zone, if you can be observant in those parts, then he said definitely Suppose that 10 minutes is hard, but the 11th minute will be little easier. And as you pass like 30 minutes or an hour, you will find yourself entangled with some other desires, and that desire of tea will be gone. And then, yeah, of course, you'll get reminded again, oh, I lost that desire of tea, where it is gone. But let's now, work on the different desires. So that is how the uh, thoughts are aligned one after another. It keeps pushing us forward, always forward in life. So anything that I have said now you want to share, or you have any questions like whatever I have shared till now of today's session?
Yes, hello. I have a quick question.
Yes.
You were saying about thoughts and observe the source of these thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what you mean. Are you referring to these thoughts are coming from our vasanas or what?
I mean, all the thoughts have some source. There is a factory where all these thoughts are getting generated or built up, because it must be coming from somewhere. It's not like if it is there inside us, we can't say that it's coming from nowhere. There must be some source. So even we see a river taking a vast uh, shape as it flows down from the mountain, and finally it takes a bigger shape when it merges in the river. But if you want to find that where this source of river started from, you keep tracking it backwards, towards the backwards direction, you will definitely find a source of that river. So likewise, if you keep tracking the thoughts instead of fulfilling it and taking action, immediate action, keep tracking it backwards. It needs a very razor sharp focus to track it back. But if one can maintain that with patience, persistence, and practice, it comes through practice only, then they will reach the source of that thought and find that that particular source of thoughts are responsible for all the thoughts that is coming. So it's not only one kind of or a pattern of thought is coming from this source. The source of thought is same. So that is what I was trying to refer here.
So I always thought my understanding was that the thoughts we get originated or based on the vasanas that we have, you see, brought over from previous lives.
Mm.
That was my understanding, is, and it's these vasanas that dictate, what thoughts you get, what desires you have, etc., what likes and dislikes, etc.
Right, that is a good question. So what happens is, suppose a thought from that source come up on a surface, we think about those thoughts and we find it like quite fascinating, and we start working on those thoughts. As soon as we start taking action on those thoughts, thinking that I am doing or I am responsible for making those thoughts into reality, okay, now the duality starts coming up and non-duality fades. And now that ego emerges, that I am responsible for doing this action. This action is being taken by me. So with those, with those intention, when we start working upon on those thoughts, they get accumulated as karmas, karma balance. They get into a karma balance and keep adding it on as we move forward in taking the actions with duality. Mind it, with duality. So if any actions taken with duality goes into a bracket of karma. And in this lifetime, whatever actions we have taken with the mindset of duality gets accumulated. It gets, imagine that it gets now converted into a movie reel That movie reel, you can say, is karma, or you have given a name vasana, but vasana is a part of karma. So karma is the whole picture. So that movie reel is now carry forward in the next life, because that movie reel is there, it cannot vanish. It gets installed in that projector again, and the reel is moving again from whatever the karmas we have accumulated. We are building more and more on the same storyline. Was I able to explain, or was it like too much?
No, that is fine. You see, because I'm thinking, this desire to travel, for example, we must have in our previous lives had this desire and continue, and it must be a very strong desire. And if it's come back again in this life, for you
Yes.
to fulfill it, you say, because I love traveling as well. And then sometimes there are limitations, obviously, health and other things. But then you do come to a stage, I think, or maybe sometimes you do wonder, is it worth traveling wherever you're going, all these places? One part is going towards the travel, you're still curious and interested. And once you're there, you think, well, this is similar anyway to somewhere else I have been. So there's nothing new in that respect. So some similarities are beginning to crop up, and you do question whether there is a need to travel.
While traveling also, you must have observed that now you have built up or developed a taste of what kind of traveling you want. Some likes to travel in the mountains, some likes to travel in a religious place, some wants to travel in a particular country. They are drawn towards that particular country only. Uh, so those developments are linked with all those accumulated actions that we have already taken in our previous birth. So let's take an example. In my previous birth, if I was traveling extensively, and in my previous birth, after those extensive travel, I found that out of all those travel, I liked staying near the sea beach most. And all these travels and all these thoughts were taken or done with the nature of duality. Now I have made a conclusion, and this conclusion is being converted into a movie reel, which has to be installed in the projector again. And now the projector is throwing the image again. But now the modifications are happening. Now in this life, somehow I know that I want to travel to this place. So that thing that somehow I know that I like only traveling to sea beaches is actually you have worked already upon those aspects in your previous life, and now you want to modify it, and you keep modifying it. In this lifetime, maybe you just choose to travel near the sea beach, and now you modify it again. Okay, in sea beach, what will you do? What to seek in sea beach? What kind of patterns you will draw from that sea beach will be also accumulated, and maybe next lifetime it gets more refined and refined. And one day, of course, it has any desires when it comes in a stage of exhaustion, like you have seen it all, saturation, then that finally you get released. You get released, or you get uh, free from that desire. Now that desire is not very strong. If it is not also fulfilled, you're not bothering. So that is how it works.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so you are saying it is okay to fulfill some of our desires, rather than suppress it.
Yeah, not suppressing is not the solution, but find those or categorize those thoughts into a bracket of where you have to take immediate action on it, or you can think more about and then taking action on those thoughts. And then also categorize a thought which definitely needs an immediate action. Because be very sure, and this is a fact, that any thought on which we are taking an action is more likely to add on in our karmas. So keep that thing in mind, that we don't complicate our baggage of karmas by taking a lot of actions on the random thoughts. Be very vigilant, be very choosy. Only attract the thoughts which you want to accumulate in your karma baggage. It's like choosing the best attire for your event. Or if when you are packing up a luggage, choosing the best option available in your wardrobe for that particular journey, and not taking a loads of thing, and with a heavy baggage, will not be freely traveling, uh, or it's not a wise option, just randomly picking anything. So pick those which is very much necessary and which will help you to cross this ocean of life. So those pick and choose with intelligence, with knowledge, with vidya is very much important. This is my belief. I'm more than happy to listen to your beliefs, but this is what I thought about when I think about when we say this is my life, or my life looks like this. So, first of all, the life is starting somewhere inside, and there is a source which is being projected, and then those projection comes in the screen of in that is a inner screen, not the outer screen I'm talking about. There is an inner big screen. Just as you close your eyes, you see immediate black, big, wide shaped screen. And mostly the thoughts gets projected in that space only. That space, by yogis, they have given the name of that space as Chidakasha. So that is just the screen where the thoughts are getting projected. That screen is not the origin, but the origin somewhere very deep rooted within. And the whole process of meditation is to finding that source only. You do it with mantra, you do it with japa, you do it with any form you may choose to. But towards the end, the goal is of any sadhana is to find the source of thoughts.
Vaibhav, can I just mention something?
Yes, please.
You mentioned the example of someone having cravings for something, for example, a nice cup of chai, yeah, which many people have, or coffee these days. Where, in our culture, there are many people who will give up something, like something they enjoy, and therefore they won't, like a vow or a bata, we call it. So they won't touch that, they won't taste that anymore, they won't drink it or eat it anymore. When that happens, there's such a control of the thoughts that come, or perhaps those thoughts don't even come anymore because you've really said no, because you've taken this higher level vow not to do that specific thing.
Ji.
So in my case, for example, I gave up chocolate, which is something that most people enjoy, and I enjoyed, and it's been many, many years now, and it's fine. How do you explain that at the level of the thoughts and the mind? How is that working? Because it is working, So when I see chocolate, I'm not going crazy. I'm just like, what's next,
Yes. I mean, you can observe that desire just coming up and then not bothering you, and then it just fades away, right?
In fact, yeah, not even coming my way so much.
Yeah.
After
Yes.
many years. Yeah. It's
Yes.
almost like it's gone to root level of commitment. that this is a no for a reason that you've, you know, given to yourself.
So that control, that power of control
Mm.
comes only when we have kind of lived that desire to its peak level.
Mm.
It's not necessary that it must be that peak of fulfilling that desire you must have experienced in this life, but it's related to many previous lives. So let's take an example of chocolate.
Mm.
So in previous lives, it wouldn't have been in a form of chocolate, but yes, 100 years back, yes, there were chocolates. 200 years back, they were like, I don't know about like history of chocolates, but let's say 200 years back, there were like chocolates. But before
Mm.
that, what? So chocolate is like kind of a sweet.
Mm.
So a person must have lived or fulfilled that desire of
Mm.
craving of some sweet and into a level, where they have reached it to a level of neck. गले तक आ जाना, मतलब it's like you have lived it like completely, and now you're bored because that boredom is like mostly is comes when we get to a peak of something. It can be it can be chocolates, it can be money, it can be traveling, anything.
Mm.
Once we have lived it to its brim, like to its on its peak level, then that experience of boredom is also being registered in the reel, which is which we all are carrying that movie reel. You can say it a movie reel or a pen drive in a modern way. Let's take it a experiences of uh, all those desires, put it in one pen drive, and we are carrying that pen drive with us in our mind in many lives and
Mm.
trying to refine and work more upon. So we'll not fall back to the same trap. The
Mm.
experiences which we have lived and concluded before dying that I have completely lived it is being also registered. And when that experience is being now, transferred in the other life, that remembrance of fulfillment of those desires is already there because it was concluded in the previous life only. So now, since it has been carried forward, initially it will come, but it will immediately be taken care of because the conclusion has been already drawn in previous births. So this
Mm.
is a indication that in your previous births, you have lived it so much, then you must have got bored with it. Or there is a possibility that a guilt also comes, and because of that guilt, the conclusion is drawn that I will not touch it again. This must have happened in this life or previous life. And those experiences, everything, any action you take, any word you speak is getting registered in the mind.
Mm.
Nothing like everything we see also is getting registered. The mind is so powerful and it has so much of space, and it's like a huge hard disk, a database where it is registering everything, every single moment of life.
Mm.
So if you contemplate on the power which you have in this life, on few different aspects of thoughts or desires, and if you have gained a control on those desires, where those desires are not looking anymore like desires, it's just like it just comes and fades away, or not even come now, is a is a I mean 100% it's an indication that we have lived it.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. So anyone else who would like to share anything?
I was just thinking, you said, find the source of these thoughts, right? If you
Yes.
go back, the source of everything, this is my intellectual reasoning, okay?
Yeah.
Not experience. So the source of everything is the self, is God, is Atma, is consciousness. So you're saying go back to the source of this thought. My intellectual thinking is saying that has got to be the self, hasn't it? Because that gives you the power to do everything.
So take it as like the whole universe is a bubble of n number of thoughts. It's a combination of thoughts only. Whatever we are seeing behind that object or that image, a thought is responsible. If there is, the thoughts are the electricity for the projector to run. So if the projector shuts down, the movie screen is blank. So with these two eyes, whatever we are seeing outside, the vision, now the vision of the source of the vision are thoughts. So thoughts are responsible for all or anything, whatever we are seeing in with these two eyes, open eyes. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do you feel?
No, that is correct. I'm trying to find this, you're saying find the source of these thoughts, where it's coming from. For example, so if I have a thought of travel, you're saying go back to the source. How am I going to find this? Because this thought just appeared in my mind, isn't it? So where is it coming from, the source?
Yes.
Is it think about it, go back, go back, go back?
Don't think about like how to go back or track that particular thought. It's not going to work, or it's not very easy. Instead of that, find the origin of all the thoughts, like where these thoughts are coming and why these thoughts are coming. Find that why first, that why these thoughts are coming. There must be a reason, a hidden reason. The reason wouldn't be like as clear as a crystal with like a crystal or a shining crystal. It won't be clear like that. One has to work hard through meditation, and the meditation is the only way out to find the source. So see all the thoughts as a moving cloud and just see it moving. And don't take any action during the meditation, or don't give any importance to those thoughts during meditation. Let it come and let it pass away. And during this process, each day, try a step, even a step getting closer to the source is also enough. Try thinking, even for once, that where these thoughts, all these thoughts are coming. Focus. Which part of the body it is coming from? Is it coming from my fingers? Is it coming from my neck? If you find the origin of our voice when I'm speaking, internally, if I think also as I am speaking, that where is the origin of this voice coming from, I will find that kind of this area is vibrating and I will touch it. Yes, somewhere here it's coming from. And then feel it with the closed eyes. So finding the origin of voice or finding the origin of a heartbeat is easy. But finding the origin of thoughts, it's not an easy task. But yes, there is a place in our body responsible. Uh, there is a place defined that this must be the area where it starts emerging. And if you start focusing in that particular area, that first of all, it's so hard to find that area. It can take a lot of time to find that area first. But with constant practice, we will move forward. The universe will guide us. You seek the guidance. It's now I'm coming next. I think the next slide will be, I will be able to explain you better on your question, or you'll be able to understand it a little better. I will try my best. That slide is visible or not visible?
You can only see the slide with the little lamb.
Can you? Okay. So this is where the prayer comes in. So with this practice, which is not easy, and we will find so hard, and the failure is born to stand next to the door. Like we'll find like it's so hard, I can't do it. We all must have lived this spiritual failure zone. And this is where the prayer comes in. And the next part of prayer is samarpan, complete surrender. So I am trying my level best, but now I am integrating prayers that please guide me, please guide me. I don't know the way, I don't know the path, how to find you. Here you means the origin of everything. So everything is some or the other way linked with thoughts. And finding the thoughts means finding everything. Finding the origin of thought means finding the origin of everything. So show me, guide me. And that feeling that, okay, show me, I can't do it. It's so hard. Within the meditation, when you start praying, some unearthly power starts emerging from within and gives you a ray, a hope, or faint. It can be a faint direction towards how to walk on that path. That is the power of prayer. If prayers are not integrated in our day-to-day meditation sessions, and with prayer, the samarpan, the surrender part is not integrated. And again, the feeling of, I will find the origin of the thought. I am responsible to find it and I must find it. When that rage or that anger or to ultimately find or reach somewhere doesn't go away. And it will only go away with prayers. It will only go away with surrender. So the more you try to focus, more likely you will have a bad meditation session. Most of the meditation sessions, in my experience, I found it so beautiful when I was expecting it the least. When I was not even expecting that, okay, I will meditate and I want to get that feeling of bliss. It was just like, I was tired and I just wanted to just sit quietly. And there were few noises and few disturbance coming from here and there. And within that fraction of second, like I went somewhere, something clicked, and I stayed in that zone. We all have experienced. We stayed in that zone for a couple of minutes, seconds, fraction of seconds, but is enough to charge your soul. So that, surrender and that prayer is such a beautiful ingredient. It's like a salt in a food. You put any masala, you put any ingredient in the food, and just don't put salt. It's not gonna, give you or release that flavor in your mouth. So the prayer and the samarpan or the surrender. Samarpan is in Hindi or Sanskrit, and the English is prayer. Surrender. These two integrated can do wonders. So never forget. We must never forget these two ingredients to include in our whatever practice. Say it meditation, or say it uh, any yogic kriyas, or say it like even like seva. We are doing seva. Let's do it with an ingredient of full surrender. If I am in a service of someone, let me give it all for that particular moment without thinking of my comfort. So that is why seva is being also included in the journey of spirituality, because seva gives us this feeling of complete surrender, or we experience the feeling of complete surrender when we are doing seva. We all must have experience. We hit a point where we do something with any selfish motives, and we do it in a selfless manner. And this samarpan just comes up, and we experience what samarpan feels like, what complete surrenders feels like. So when we suppose we get in touch with someone we really love, and suppose we see them in a phase where we are mentally not stable, we are uh, mentally, physically drained, and we get to see a person we love, we just, you know, imagine a feeling of falling in their arms, falling in their laps. That fraction of moment, you can experience samarpan. You can experience the surrender that I cannot do it anymore. Just hold me, and I'm done. Like, I can't take it anymore. So when you, with that feeling, when you fall in the arms, or when you hug someone, when you fall in the lap, you can fall in the lap of your mother, you can fall in the arms of your lover. That fraction of second, some some blissful or a very beautiful kind of zone we are in, and we feel safe. That needs to be also included in our sadhana. Falling or completely giving it all in the lap of divine. There are a lot of sadhana which also says that to increase your samarpan bhav, to increase your complete surrender bhav, meditate on an object where you are. Suppose meditate on a deity. For male, it's female, and for female, it can be male, or other way around, anything you like to choose. And just instead of, sitting in front of that deity, sleep in the lap of the deity. Just, you know, just give it all. Just like, I cannot do it. I'm sleeping now in meditation in your lap. You take care. You guide me how to move forward from here, because I'm stuck. Because in finding the origin of what we were talking of, thoughts or origin of all or anything, we will hit a zone where we'll find ourselves clueless or stuck. From that zone, only a divine power can extract us, pull us, and show us the forward direction. And this will only come when we completely surrender and we pray. We pray hard from our heart. We pray it hard. So that feeling of love should be there when we are doing any sadhana, any meditation. Sadhana doesn't only mean meditation here. Sadhana also means taking care of your outer world, your outer environment as well. And we people say, even my work is my sadhana, but your work can be only your sadhana when there is a feeling of love in that work. If you just want to tag it like my work is my sadhana and there is no love, you are cribbing about your work, then no, that is not a sadhana. Or for say like a vice versa, people say that I do sadhana and like, I love, I meditate. But actually when they are meditating, they are not liking it. They are just doing it. It's kind of, there's no love for that whole practice. So it's also not a sadhana. That two main ingredient is love and samarpan. So love and the prayer is one and the same thing. So prayer is not a prayer without love. So these two ingredients, when merged with finding that origin, it then starts working. It takes time. It can take a lot of time, because till now we were just seeing the movie and we were taking actions, on the whatever the screen was showing in our inner mind, whatever the screen, the movie was playing, we were just doing that. That was the pattern. Now you want to break the pattern, you want to find the origin of everything, and you have not experienced that pattern in your previous life. Suppose this is the life you are starting, first experience you are getting to how to find that origin. Of course, it's going to take time when you will reach to the final destination and you will say that I have reached the source. So, for example, I think Bhavani ji she was sharing that now she has crossed that desire uh, of having a craving for chocolate. I'm sure that it is not a work of one lifetime, because if in this lifetime it felt easy, then it is a clear indication. If it is feeling easy, then it has been already put into practice in several lifetimes in the past. When I was even now, like I love sports. I have a special, feeling for playing sports. So any sports which I used to play initially, if it was new to me, it felt very hard. And it felt like how like people just do it so smoothly and so effectively. But it comes only when you live those moments day after day, day after day. You start living those moments. You start creating the patterns in the mind. The mind starts generating a habit of those patterns. And then it gives you a feeling of comfort. And then with those comfort comes the skill. Skill only develops in a cubicle of comfort. You give comfort to someone in your work area, give them the freedom, you will see the skill enhancement in that person. And with the enhancement of skill in the person comes the skill in it gets transferred in the business as well. So living those moments day after day with constant practice builds up a pattern. And one day it feels easy. Like for Bhavani ji, this lifetime, she felt so easy to give up on chocolates. So with this, I would like to end today's session. I will just stop sharing the screen. So these were my thoughts, which just came up, and I thought like sharing with you. Um, it's always I feel very happy interacting with you all. You all are very lovely people and a very patient listener. I want to thank you all for listening to my thing so patiently.
Sorry, thank you. Can I just quickly say, what you said earlier? I have been told if you get thoughts, you just ignore them and let them pass like a cloud, which is what you said. But then now, and then he says, just watch them and that's it. But now you're saying, including part of your meditation is try and find out the source of these thoughts. Because before, if they come, you just let them go and that's it. And you
Not
just
a
sit there
particular thought,
quietly.
but not any one particular thought, source of all the thoughts.
Yeah, so you have to now ask the question in your meditation. Before, as I said, I just let them go and just sit there. But now you're saying you have to ask, where are these thoughts coming from? And observe, feel them in your body, where they're coming from. Is that right?
Actually, I didn't say to completely ignore it. I said first put it in a bracket. If it needs your attention or it doesn't need your attention. Is it very important in this lifetime? First, start from there. Start bisecting it from one by one. Just don't ignore it like or swipe it away. Thoughts means waste of time and let's swipe it away. No, think on if this thoughts is, which is coming in the mind, does it need my immediate attention? Is it a matter of life or death for me if I'm not going to fulfill these thoughts? If the answer is no, it needs your immediate attention, of course, open up your eyes, don't do the meditation, get up from the meditation and fulfill whatever you have to fulfill to achieve or make those thoughts into action. That is the first step. Put it in a category. Second, if you have managed to reach to a stage where you feel like, no, it doesn't actually needs my immediate attention, observe it. And as you observe it, it will fade away. It has to fade away because the another thought is waiting in the line. And likewise, the series will come. So my idea was not to find a origin of that one particular single thought, but in a whole to find out these series are coming endlessly. Be surprised about it. It's never ending. Even when you are sleeping, you are trapped in a zone of thought, which is a dream. Dream stage is an accumulation of different thoughts. With this, feeling of, where this is kind of endless, let me find it like, where is the origin? So your question is like, you said, I am saying that let the thoughts pass away, but then again get back into a zone where finding the source of thoughts, yes, but they are two different things. Letting the thoughts pass away means that you are not breaking the meditation. If you stick to one particular thought or you start pondering about that thought, then you are not meditating. Now you are meditating on that particular thought. I am asking you to practice is uh, when you are letting that thought pass away, now practice that why I am seeing these thoughts coming endlessly in front of my screen. Let me go back and find from where it is coming. So if we don't let one particular thoughts pass away, then we won't be able to reach to the next level. The next level is finding the source of everything. So yes, you have to leave one thought, and of course, from that thought only, with that tool only, you will dig it harder to find the source. So a thought, yes, I'm saying a thought is needed to kill the another thought. But that thought, which is needed to kill the thought of, to find the source of all thoughts, will take us closer to our goal. So, yes, you are right, you are getting it right, that a thought is needed to find the source of thought. Because it is like a rope. Because inside it's all blank. You don't have a base. So we need a rope so that we can hold it and we can keep walking on that rope, and then we will be able to reach to the source of the rope. So to find the source of the rope, you have to generate a powerful thought, which is the father or the origin of all the thoughts. So yes, it's tricky, but yes, it's like it. It's like that, how it works.
Okay, I will just try it. Okay, thank you.
Please also include surrender and prayer, because yes, we'll feel stuck, we'll feel clueless how to move forward. Please seek the guidance from the universe, and then let the universe guide you, and be very allow the universe to guide you in a patiently manner. If we are ready, it will give us some directions. But if we are not ready yet, then it may test us more and see if we are still chasing the ultimate power of thought or the origin of thought, if we are still chasing that idea or not. So we have to cross a lot of tests in life. As we are moving closer and closer to the origin, the path becomes more difficult or more mysterious. I uh, I hope like that was that clear?
Yes, thank you. It's useful, you know, it's a new way of looking at things. I will practice. As you said, it's not easy, but I will try and see what happens. Okay, thank you.
Yes, practice it with ease. Let all the thought come, put it in a different brackets, and to move forward in meditation, we have to find a way where we have to, put a hold on all those thoughts and just be in observant state. Because if we start giving importance to all the thoughts, then we are moving further away from the true meditation or our goal. So the first hurdle is to categorize these thoughts into the brackets of important and non-important, immediate action, not immediate action. If you are able to do this also, you have crossed a lot of, you have attained a lot of uh, power within, where now you have that power of freezing in that moment and categorizing it. But before this, we were not categorizing it. We were just like one after other. We were just living those thoughts. And I showed that image that it is a movie. See it as a movie because the thoughts may be very disturbing also. It can be a sad thought also. So it takes a lot of practice that we have entered, take it in this way, we have entered into a movie theater. I just want to ask you all, uh, whoever is present today, you ever experienced watching a movie in a movie theater? Everyone? I'm I am supposing that everyone here in this session today have experienced seeing a movie in a movie theater.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I'm sure we all
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Before going to a movie theater, we know that this movie is going to end in 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever. But it's definitely going to end within a couple of hours. With that mindset, we are entering the movie theater and we know that this is going to end. We are living the experience of whatever is being reflected in the screen, but for a fraction of a second. We come out of that story, whatever we have seen. If we get very attached or emotional, if we start crying inside the movie theater, it's for some time because our mind knows somehow that this experience will end in 2 hours. So don't worry, don't think too much about it. It was just a movie, and we'll move on. Why we are forgetting in this lifetime that we have entered a movie theater and it's going to now end, but not in couple point of human being. It feels like 80 years, but it is a movie. And we have to get out from that movie theater. So in that meditation session, go into a meditation session, like going into a theater. Whatever thought, good or bad, is coming, it's going to end. Don't feel too much stressed about it. Don't get too much attached about that because it's just a movie. And you are, the director is someone else. You are not the director of the movie. You have to find the director, meet the director, and ask more about why he made that movie, what made him made that movie, and the director will tell you. So the director is the source which we have to find. And of course, it's not easy to find a director and just go and talk to him because he's not readily available. He's a famous person. Doesn't has he or she doesn't meet everyone just like that. We need a contact. We need a I mean proper channel, or we need regular, effort from our end. And then one day they will allow, okay, come. This guy looks like rigid. So let's talk to him or her. So I'm just trying to give you, realistic examples. It may sound stupid, but I process like this to understand the complex. These are very complex issues, or these are very complex topic. If you start reading about these topics, it feels so confusing and overwhelming and so hard. So I'm just trying to, try to relate it with a day-to-day example and how to move forward from it. Yes. Anyone else would like to share anything?
I think we all know this. We've heard the fact that life is a big movie that we are
Yes.
experiencing. but it's just a little hard to believe it, because we're so entangled in it. We have, for our actions, there are consequences, and, cause and effect. So you are also in it for a meaning. Sometimes it's difficult to step away from that and realize that it's not real. Although you try and convince yourself, but it hits you every now and then. So I've heard, this is not real life, and that this is a play, but we are in it. I think there's still some way to go before I can see that bit of distance between that play and reality.
Yes, it needs a constant reminder also that this play, although we know or we have read a lot of time that this is a play, this is a movie, but still we have to push ourselves or remind ourselves hard that we find ourselves following the same pattern, taking it too seriously, or yes, because mind doesn't understand anything if the mind doesn't uh, has built a pattern around those topics. Mind works in experiences and patterns lived around those thoughts. So this is a clear indication that if this life doesn't seem like a movie, then mind has not experienced or given a thought or has worked hard upon on that thought. So it's like an addiction. We know this thing is not true. This is not right for me, but still I'm going towards it. So take that addiction of life. Take that finding that life, seeing that life so real is also an addiction. We are so addicted that we know it, we read it. This life is not real. Don't go there. Don't take it too seriously. But we are so addicted because the pattern is built so many times, life after another, around that belief that we tend to, lean towards that thing. So it is, I may put it as, addiction of life.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
think, like you said, yeah. I think, like you said, prayer and surrender is the way forward.
yes, it is the way forward.
Regular.
It is the thing which we cannot miss. We can miss the meditation, we cannot miss the prayers and surrender. And putting it all three together, nothing like it. Then we are trying to build up or to live a experience that building a pattern around that this life is not true. It doesn't look like how it looks like. So we need to work hard upon building up a new patterns and design so that it becomes so established in mind that someday it becomes easy or it becomes effortless to see this as a movie. You are walking and seeing it as a movie because you have worked so hard upon building up that pattern in the mind that it just, there is no effort needed. Like,
Yeah, the mind makes you believe this is real.
yes.
The problem, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you
So
so
it's
much, Vaibhav. Sorry, thank you so much, Vaibhav. Can I just say, the point I'm taking is to be like a witness to everything. So if you're going through a difficult time, see it as though you're clearing your karmas by witnessing what you're going through. And I also love the bit where you said just surrender by putting your head on the lap of whoever you believe in, your Guruji, whoever, and that's total surrender. So that's a lovely way of depicting that. So I really appreciate that. But it is a very difficult subject. You know, the key things are surrender and love, but I think this is quite a difficult subject to actually put into practice.
is a kind of the most difficult task one can achieve and or one can think of. It's harder than landing on a moon with a spaceship. Invention of a spaceship will look easier in front of this building that or living in that zone of complete surrender mode, complete acceptance mode, complete mode of being an observant. So to achieve this state is is very, very much, it's not a easy at all. It's so difficult. But uh, achievable. Finding people around you who has the same target, reading scriptures around it, which will take you closer and give you more answers how to do it, how others have done it, keeps your fire on. So don't let that fire fade away, which is taking you actually towards the reality of life. So, and starting or walking on this journey initially feels difficult, but it becomes 10 times or 100 times more difficult when you are just 100 meters away from your goal. And that is why our scripture is again and again saying that even the sages, the tapasvis who are experiencing the trance state, they are, leaving the body, they are landing on the moon, they are landing on the other galaxies, just, into their meditation. Through their meditation, they are traveling the world and the universe, even in that zone. From that zone, we have read a lot of scriptures that they again fall back. The universe gives them some tests, and sometimes they fail. So the tests are very mysterious, and the tests are also never ending. I feel that the universe will take us in the lab completely once it has tested us hard. And those tests are so difficult that even rishis like Vishwamitra, Parashara, Bharadwaja, even we know like these rishis are like they had supernatural powers. They were not human beings. They they were given a test or put in a situation where it was felt so difficult that it felt like giving up. Even they failed, but they started again. But that failure is there. I mean, universe wants to shake our faith. Every step it wants, I think it's readily, trying to shake our faith. Now in India, I see few examples. Like there are good yogis and tapasvis, but still, from physical level, if you have heard about Swami Premanand from Vrindavan, he's a beautiful rishi, such a beautiful thought. But look at his life. He has dedicated his whole life in finding this reality. But in return, what did he get? Two failed kidneys. And he has to go through dialysis like every third or fourth day. So universe is trying to, will test us hard out. It will say, okay, you want to merge with me? Let me test you hard. Let me give you pain. And let's see now you get trapped in those pain or you still want to get closer to me. It is, I don't know why it is designed like that, but it looks like it is designed like that. Tests are born to and hit us hard in every step of spirituality, every step of practice, which will make us, or we think, which where we are getting closer and closer, the test will be harder and harder on us. I hope I'm not making you anyone like making you. This is not why I'm saying is not to make you scared, but to prepare you. The test will happen. This is part of the journey. So don't worry. We all are going through the same. We all are on the same boat.
Thank
So
you,
there is a
Vaibhav ji.
long
Now you made it very clear for everyone.
I want to thank you, Neha for again like inviting me. And I think during this 2 months we discussed or I tried to put a real example or take a real example from life and try to share whatever I feel about these topics. If you feel that it's it's a lot to think upon, to work upon, let's first think upon whatever we have discussed already, because it's already too much to work on. People ask me, don't you get bored? You have no friends, you don't go to party. I feel like, do I have time to party? Like I have already so much to work upon on myself. Don't you get bored of yourself? Like, don't you want a company? I feel like first I want to decode my own company. Like, who am I? Before clearing that, I can't move forward. So I am kind of in that zone, and I hope you all are in that zone. And if you are in that zone, keep walking. Don't listen to others. Even you have to walk it alone. Walk it alone. But this is the only path to walk. This is why we have taken a human birth. Sorry, I'm putting it so harsh, but this is it. This. I mean, there is no other way out.
No,
This is
you're not putting it harsh. You're making it very simple, actually, and very, very clear. So thank you. So for concluding, and of course, with overwhelming so much to think about, a simple step as you always make it happen. Where do we start?
uh, was there any question behind this, Nancy? Sorry, I didn't get it.
No. I'm just
sharing. Yes.
summarizing in terms of practice, in terms of starting and moving forward, as there's a lot, but then where do we start?
Yes, correct. If we are together today, or we have been together in this journey from previous couple of months, then one thing is for sure that we all have that goal somewhere hidden in us, that or that somehow I want to find the way to reach that goal. And that goal is definitely not the materialistic goal, it's something beyond. So if we are all together in this group or session, then one thing is common between us is our goal is same. So never find yourself in a situation where you feel like I am walking alone, am I going crazy? Because the world, you may see the world not following the same journey, but they all will. Once they have lived those experiences, they all will also find it, or once the pattern has been built, they will get bored of it. Let them live. You all are lucky that it's an indication that you all must have lived, and now you want to live something which is beyond this normal routine. And that is why that hunt is there, that exploration is there. And in the first session, I said that we are connecting here because we all are explorers, and hence we are here because we are explorers. So let's make this journey uh, fruitful by not stopping our exploration. Keep exploring it. Keep talking to the people, sharing the same goal. Keep coming. I mean, keep sharing your. I mean, satsanga gives so much of power, and I have said it. I think I am repeating myself again and again in the same session that if one cannot do anything, start with satsanga. Start with question and answers. Start with talking to people. You feel that they are sharing the same goal as you. Be in touch with them. That's I think not very hard. That's simple, right? So let's start from holding each other's hand. So thank you from my
Yes.
end.
Thank you. Thank you, Vaibhav. Very simple and easiest one to start with. Thank you. I'll